everyone. My name is Darlene Young from Arlington, and I'd like to welcome you back to our series, Mindful Health Alternatives. Today, our guest again is Molly Beveridge, who has a complete Chinese medical practice and is also a licensed acupuncturist, and she's back for part 2 of her segment. Welcome back, Molly.
Thank you, Darlene. I hope that everybody was lucky enough to hear the first part of my program. And I just want to explain, I forgot to introduce you to my friend Ken here, who is in fact, I'll bring him up here, was really just here just to prove how very relaxing acupuncture is. And in addition, I also want to tell you about a book called The Web That Has No Weaver. And this is a great book written by Ted Kapchuk, who was one of the very first pioneers of acupuncture and oriental medicine in the United States. It's a wonderful book for a layperson to begin to really understand the underpinnings of Chinese medicine. So thank you once again for allowing me to be here.
Thank you again. And Molly is going to introduce you to her mock patient, and she'll be right back with you.
Thank you. So I'd like to welcome my mock patient to my treatment room. What's your name?
Hello, Molly. I'm Janice Johnson.
We've created a mock persona that really exemplifies how Chinese medicine works and some of the more common syndromes that you can see within Chinese medicine. So this is not her real name nor her real symptoms, and I want to make that really clear. Well, Janice, thank you for coming. Please have a seat.
Thank
so
you.
We're going to spend some time talking. I want to find out exactly what's going on for you. And you filled out the consent forms and everything, privacy forms. That's great. Okay, well, let me get my clipboard here so I can write all the information down. So how old are you?
Janice, I'm 47.
You're 47, okay. And what's your occupation?
I'm the Vice President of Operations for the G.A. Nesh Corporation. We are a nationwide corporation. We deal with materials and the construction industry, sort of streamlining operations, improving efficiency, basically removing the obstacles to build what they'd like to build.
Sounds like an important job and maybe stressful. And what?
Yes, the decline in '08 was stressful, and now that we're busy again, which is wonderful, I'm busy again.
Yeah. Well, tell me, what brings you here? What's your chief complaint? What's the main thing that's bothering you?
I wake up in pain, and I go to sleep in pain, and I don't sleep well. My stomach.
Your stomach. Okay.
My stomach. Have a great deal of pain in my stomach much of the time. I am not sleeping, or
okay.
I sleep for a very short window, and then I can't get any more sleep. I feel like an insomniac.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Have you had any workup from a Western medicine
I have.
sort of doctor?
I have.
And
my schedule's pretty busy. I have a good doctor. We've been through several medications that didn't give any relief. We did do some scans and the whole GI workup, and there was nothing indicated, no high pyloric ulcers or no
anything.
polyps, nothing.
Okay.
And his best suggestion is to reduce my caffeine intake and my stress. And it's like, well, okay, but I still have to function. I still have a life. I
you still have
responsibilities at work, and then I have a home life, and I have responsibilities there too. And life is no fun.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Fun.
Boy, it sounds like, sounds like I'm glad you came in because I think we might be able to help you here.
Well, wonderful.
So what makes, does anything make it better or worse? Has there been anything that's made the pain, stomach pain better or worse? How do you do with stress? Does stress make it better or worse?
When I'm really stressed, it makes it much worse.
Okay.
And as I believe I'm starting to change because I'm going through hot and cold spells, a hot spell and a cold spell as well. But when it comes time to cycle, It's just, I'm just miserable on every level. I mean,
like lots of PMS kind of symptoms.
yeah, lots of emotional stuff, more pain, more pain right around that time.
Okay. Okay. How about any headaches? Do you have headaches?
Yes, I do, and many days I feel like I'm dizzy. Many days I feel like I'm spinning, and it's hard to tell if it's, I cannot, and the doctor couldn't discern the discrete symptoms of whatever. And it's like, is this a hormonal change? Is this dizziness, headaches from lack of sleep?
Right. There's a lot of pieces involved, right?
You know,
what's underlying this? We want to find out what is making all these symptoms erupt. Let me go back to the pain itself. Is it stabbing, dull and achy, a combination of both? What do you notice about it?
When I'm quiet and laying in bed trying to sleep, it isn't as stabbing. It's more quieter.
Okay, so maybe dull.
But when I am active during the day or when I eat, I frequently get stabbing pains.
Okay, okay. How about your digestion itself? How's your appetite been?
Well, I did listen to my doctor, and I stopped drinking coffee at noon.
Well, that's good.
And I stopped drinking cola right after 6, 7 o'clock. I eat light. I try and eat salads and yogurts, things that go through easy. If I eat a heavy meal, it's not pleasant. I get a lot of gas, a lot of bloating.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I have diarrhea.
Okay.
Sometimes I have constipation.
It's
not one. It's neither. It's not either or.
Right, and you haven't noticed anything in particular that leads to either, like any food intake that is gonna makes a difference.
No, it was no.
Do you tend to run warm, or do you feel like you're cold a lot of the time?
Oh, I'm definitely cold most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
But sometimes you said you're alternating hot and cold.
Well, yeah,
it's
like, you know, you hot flash, and then you're freezing. But on gray days, the raw, damp weather, I just get really cold.
Okay.
Really cold.
Sounds like you're really somewhat depleted. You know, you've really used a lot of the energy from your well for, you know, the good work that you're doing in your life, but we need to get some more energy back into you, and even you out and regulate your bowels and your stomach, because that's just, sounds like it's certainly not helping you in your day-to-day life.
No, there is no source of
of comfort. Yeah. Okay. How about so you said you had gas and bloating. How about like drinking water? Do you feel like you want to drink water?
Water's great if it's cold, except for my coffee in the morning. Whatever I drink needs to be really cold. I've become very fond of ice cubes, you know, in the last year or so.
Okay.
Love cold beverages. That is actually something that goes down well.
Okay.
And yeah, love cold water, cold soda, cold juice.
Well, it's interesting because that says to me that there's a part of you that has there's a heat aspect inside of you. There's a part of you that's craving the cold. And yet, you have this gas and bloating, which is a lot about the spleen organ system not being able to transform its food. And the spleen, when it's transforming food, doesn't like cold stuff. So in one way, there's this heat aspect. It's a complicated thing that's going on here. You know, there's heat and there's cold inside. So we're going to be working with trying to even that out for you. Not just in how you feel, but, you know, getting you to a point where maybe you're eating more warm foods and drinking more warm liquids, but not getting overheated doing that. So that's a balance piece that I'm going to be looking at when I do the acupuncture and when I do the herbs.
Okay.
So you did talk about the sleep. How about your energy level?
What's that?
Okay, it sounds like.
Why do you think? Yeah, caffeine is my source of energy these days.
Okay.
Energy? No, no, and
just really fatigued.
and fatigued and irritable. And is it
Oh.
caffeine? Is
Okay.
it the change? Is it the lack of comfort
all
and the
those
pain?
pieces,
It's
yeah.
just irritable. I mean, my staff is wonderful. I work with some very fine people, and yet it doesn't take much to tip me off. And my poor husband,
Oh, okay.
when I do get home at night,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot. I would really appreciate
Whatever I can do.
Yeah, some help
Yeah.
from you.
I think that we have a good beginning of what's going on here. There's a real clear connection between the stress and that you experience, which in Chinese medicine is connected to the way the liver function and the ability of the liver organ system, not the liver itself, but the system to be able to move the energy in the body. And when we get very stressed, our energy doesn't move very well. It kind of sits there, and sometimes it goes woof, and we get irritable. It kind of moves upward. It kind of creates its own heat. There's liver fire. Is there something else?
No, I was just curious. So this isn't from my physical liver.
Not at all from your liver itself. No, it's from the meridian pathway in the organ system. And in Chinese medicine, the different yin organs, such as the spleen, the liver, the kidney, the heart, and the lung, they all have functions that really move the energy in the body, or they have their different functions, or they help transform the food, or they help protect the body. The lung helps protect the body from invasion from outside, and so on. And the kidneys provide the energy, and they're really interdependent. And when one organ system goes out of balance, they all start to go out of balance. So we find what's really underneath it all and start supporting that and working with that, and everything else falls into place.
Okay, all right.
So the next thing I'm going to do, though, is I'd like to feel your pulses, and I'm going to look at your tongue, and that's a part of, again, a part of what we do. So I'm going to feel the pulses on, just roll this up just a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm just going to feel the pulses on either side. I'm going to feel them both just to see if one hand is stronger than the other, but I'm feeling 3 pulses on each of the radial wrists, and they are related to different yin and yang organs. And I'm feeling, there's lots of different classifications of pulses, but there's definitely a wiry energy, and that wiry is related
To the heat?
to liver and to heat. Yeah, to liver,
okay.
like wiry, and it's in a lot of positions. There's a sense of like a wiry pinging going on, and a little bit of a slippery sensation, which is the spleen organ system. And because I'm feeling that not at the spleen pulse, it means that the spleen is out of balance too. It's sort of moving into other systems. Let me see what your tongue looks like. Just stick your tongue out. Okay. Okay, thank you. I can see that it's a kind of pale. There was some white coating, which is damp, which is that spleen not being very happy. And there's some redness in there too. There's a little bit of heat going on. There's a lot that's happening. And so I think I'm definitely pretty sure that what I want to do is work with reducing your stress, and that is, I'm going to do that by working with your liver organ system.
Okay.
And so I'm going to be doing some needles,
Okay.
and I'm going to be doing some herbs. And today I'm not going to do any moxibustion or cupping, but I might do that at another time.
Okay.
And those both help warm and move stagnation. But my diagnosis is really that there's this liver energy, the liver qi is stagnating because of all the stress that you have in your life. And it's leading to, it's kind of like overacting on the spleen, and it's causing your whole digestion system is like getting very sluggish and slow, and it's not working very well. And that's the spleen that needs to be doing its job. So I'm going to support the spleen and move the qi in the liver. And by moving that qi, that'll reduce your PMS symptoms, that'll reduce the irritability and help clear some of the heat.
Great. And so it sounds like there's a cascade effect that happens when some system goes offline, and that makes perfect sense to me. I mean,
right. We're
that's
all
what
connected.
we do. Yeah, that's what we do in our work, is keep things streamlined.
Oh,
you know?
right. So you would understand that. You can see how it works all the way through.
Yeah.
So just have a seat back here. Just make yourself comfortable. If you don't mind taking off your shoes
Oh, no.
and socks, we're going to roll up your pants just a little bit, and I'm just going to do a couple of needles today.
Mm-hmm.
Not very, in fact, we just can roll it up just a little bit, just so that the needles, well, actually, I think I'll do right up, like right about there. That's probably good. That's great right there.
Okay.
And let's see, I'm going to start, I have some little needles, and of course these are all single-use needles, and they're disposable and are disposed of in a biohazard container that goes off to wherever biohazard land it goes to. It gets sent off in the mail. But there's no risk really of contamination, very little risk.
And what about pain?
Well, people sometimes feel the needles going in, but often they don't. Often because I use a guide tube, because the needles are so thin. Now, if you have a real problem with needles, I could do acupressure instead.
No, I don't. I mean, no one's fond of being stuck, and I just
Right,
thought
yeah.
I'd ask.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
that's a great question. Most people are surprised, even shocked, at how little discomfort they feel.
Okay.
So I'm going to start, there's a little tiny needle here. See, it's very small, about the width of a hair.
Yeah, I was going to say,
You
I
can
barely
hardly
see
see
it.
it, right? Okay, and I'm just going to put it up here in the top of your head.
Okay.
This point is called Bai Hui, and it's the opening. It's GV20. It opens up the pathways in the body,
Oh
and
my gosh.
and it just can help begin the process of relaxing the body.
I didn't even feel that go in.
You didn't? That's wonderful.
No, I didn't.
And now I'm going to take alcohol swab and swab just a couple of points.
Okay.
And there's going to be a couple of points on your feet.
Okay.
And
Do you want my hands palm up? Or?
no, just down is fine, actually,
Okay.
and just a couple of points here on your hands. These are points here on the large intestine meridian that help move the qi, as does the liver point down here. There's a couple points that work with the spleen, and that's what we're going to do today. My guess is that you probably have like shoulder tension and back tension. I think we're going to just do a very simple treatment today, but another time I might put needles in along your shoulders just to help relax the muscles and release some of that pent up. We often, especially people that work with computers and are, working in front of themselves, often get into positions where they're very tight in the shoulders. Okay, so these needles that I'm using they're 0.18 in millimeter. They're very thin, so hopefully you won't feel them. I'm just going to open up a few of these here and get them ready to put in. And then, let's see, I'm going to need one more than that, I think. And the different colors of the needles that I have here are the different thicknesses.
Okay.
So I have, this is my very thinnest, and then this blue is a little bit thicker, but it's still only like 0.2 millimeters. It's still hard to see for me because I have bifocals. So, all right, so here we go. Now, if any of these points at all don't feel comfortable for you, just let me know, and I'll adjust them or I'll take them right out. It's all up to you. I don't want you to feel like you don't have any control here, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to start here with liver 3. Okay, so take a breath in and let it out. That helps people relax a little bit when they breathe with the needle.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be putting these in, and then I'm going to talk to you just a little about the herbal formula I'm going to be doing. And go ahead and take a breath in and out. All right. I'll just put that in there.
Boy, that's not, I would even call that it's not even a pinch. It's
You can hardly feel it.
It's there, but it's
Right, yeah.
it's just a split second of what's that?
Yeah,
And
and it's different for everybody, but again, it's really important that you understand that, it's you have that control, and if it's not uncomfortable, let me know. Okay, go ahead and take a breath in and let it out. This is spleen 6, a very commonly used point because it clears heat from the body and it moves the blood and it helps the spleen a lot. And we talked about how your spleen is having a bit of a hard time. And as I want to mention too, it's really important that you try and start eating warm foods, and I think that'll make a difference in your digestion.
Well, I'll give it a try. Soup can be very light and very nourishing.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
I didn't even feel that one.
You didn't feel that one?
Didn't even
Great.
feel that one.
Okay.
This is pretty amazing.
Alrighty, so 2 more on the legs. It's 2 stomach points, and the first one, it really helps again with the digestion, and they found actually through Western medicine, just a little bit more. Yeah, that's perfect right there. Western medicine has found through studies that it can actually help with constipation or diarrhea, so it's perfect for you because you have both going on. It's also an enormously powerful immune system. It can help with T cells, people that have, go ahead and take a breath in and out. People that have, are immune suppressed. This is a point I will often use.
Got to find out where that point is.
Yes, and you can always do acupressure on yourself. One can always do that. There's lots of
Acupressure, like
just holding the points.
oh, just with my fingers.
Just with your fingers, yeah.
Ah,
Okay, go ahead and take a breath in and let it out. All right, there we go. Okay, we've got just a couple more points to do on your hands, and these are the big chi movers. These are the ones that really help relax the body. In the last show that I did, I talked about one of the studies that was showed that endorphins were released when points were used, and particularly the points that I'm going to do now, large intestine 4, and the first one I did, which is liver 3. Okay, go ahead and take a breath in and let it out. And these are called the 4 gates, and they're used to open the gates of the chi in the body. All right, one last one I'm going to do here. We'll talk a little bit about herbs and lifestyle, and then take these out and you'll be done.
Okay, I actually
Go ahead and take a breath in and out. You have what? How are you?
I actually have to say that I'm feeling calmer just sitting here.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad.
I'm not feeling, I'm feeling calm.
And what people do find is that sometimes there's an immediate reaction to the acupuncture. Herbs generally take a little bit longer time to work subtly in the system, but sometimes the acupuncture is immediate, and people who have a lot of pain will get up and walk away with very little pain. It's not always that way. I wish it was. Sometimes it takes a number of treatments, and it's an important thing to make a commitment to coming for a number of times.
Well, that's interesting, because I was going to ask you, how long does the effect last? Is this a therapy where there's a step A, B, C, and D, or is it sort of open-ended? See how I respond to it?
I work with everybody individually. Yeah, absolutely, because everybody's really different. There are some people that are often kids, who they're just like, their energy just resolves very quickly. They're very tiny needles, they don't need many, and boom, they're better. You know, some of the rest of us that are a little bit older and we're kind of stuck in the ways that we are, it might take a while. But I don't know that for sure. Sometimes it's immediate, and sometimes it takes a while. So I always play it by ear. I generally try and see someone a couple times the first week, and then just to make sure that they're doing okay. And then it could go out to, you know, once a week or once every 2 weeks. There are people that actually really love acupuncture so much that they come in once a week. They just love it. It makes them so relaxed, and they like the feeling of the energy moving, the chi moving in their body. They feel great afterwards. People that come in on a regular basis every other week or once a month. I have lots of clients that are kind of just really love acupuncture.
So it's like a tune-up to keep the systems in good
Yeah,
order.
and whatever is going on for them, it's what we work on at that time.
Okay.
In general, I'm not open-ended. I don't expect that someone is going to be doing acupuncture for the rest of their life with me, unless they love it. But mostly we're working to resolve the underlying issues. And that can happen in a really discrete amount of time. And the wonderful thing about it is the side effects are very low. You know.
Yes, I was very interested when I started reading on that, because some of the drugs that I had been given were, the relief was marginal, but the side effects kicked up other things.
Right.
And I just felt like I had to choose between two bad options.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. There's sometimes when medicine, Western medicine and drugs are exactly the right thing.
Yes, and I'm not discrediting that.
Yeah, I just want to put a plug in for that. And I'm always really happy when people have seen their doctor first and ruled out any of the major system breakdowns like cancer, or if there's ulcers, you know. Definitely Chinese medicine can work with so much, but Western medicine does a great job with a lot of things. So it's really great when they've ruled out a lot of things and they come back to me, and then I can work with them with what's going on. So I just want to show you the formula that I've put together here for you. It's called Xiao Yao Wan, and it's Free and Easy Wanderer. A very old formula from.
Sounds very romantic.
Yes, well, it's an old formula. Many of the formulas that I use are from as long ago as 200 BC or 200 AD. These are old formulas that have been developed with millions of people using them, and I've added a couple of extra ingredients into it that are going to help calm you a little bit more and help the liver energy move a little bit better, help your spleen kind of get rid of a little bit more damp. And so there's things that I've torqued and twisted and kind of worked with.
Personalized it.
Personalized it definitely for you and specifically. And then once things start to resolve, this formula will change, as will the acupuncture formula, because as things begin to get better, we won't maybe need to move the chi quite so much, or we won't need to like tonify the spleen quite so much. So we'll be working on like getting rid of some of that heat, which we're doing in some of these points. And as I said, next time I probably will do a few points around your neck just to kind of relax it, and then maybe a little bit of massage just to like, you know, allow some of that like tension to just go out of your body.
So how long is a typical session?
This session will be a little bit shorter, but generally with the intake, the first session's about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half.
Okay, and then the follow-up? I mean,
the
because
follow-up,
I got to schedule this.
You got to schedule, I know, and you got a busy schedule. The follow-up is generally about an hour.
An hour, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, we play it by ear. Sometimes people come in like they've been doing great, and then they call me and they say, you know what, I just had something very stressful happen and my symptoms are kind of coming back, but I don't want them to come back all the way. And so we get them right in, and it's great. We can resolve it much quicker because we're getting to it right at the beginning of like this cycle. So
it sounds like I need to be mindful of my own. It seems like I
Yeah.
need to take care.
I would say that if you might want to like scale back even more on some of that coffee. It sounds like you're drinking coffee and
Well, if I get more energy, that's
you might be able to do that.
that's going to be a problem. If I get more sleep, that would
Right,
be
and that's
great.
hopefully what you'll see. People will often say that they sleep so much better after they've had acupuncture. Yeah, exercise would be a really good thing, and I know you've said you just don't have much time. Finding any way to do that, running up the 8 flights of stairs to your office, even that, just a little bit more, just it moves the energy. It's our body's way. Exercise is our body's way of moving energy, and it keeps us healthy. Exercise is so important. Drinking lots of water, maybe substitute a few glassfuls of water for some of the coffee would be a great thing.
Well,
And-
we'll try it. I mean,
okay.
at this point, I'm willing to try.
Yeah, and warmer foods if you can. And again, I know it's hard. You said time is such an essence, and it's easy to just run out and grab a sandwich or get a salad. But even if you can get a cup of soup instead, that's sometimes really good.
Okay.
So I think that's about all we have time for right now. Do you have any more questions? I'm going to start taking these out, and
I actually just have to say that I have felt calm, just much calmer, just sitting here. And
that's great. I'm so glad.
my stomach is calm. It's not hurting.
And it was hurting when you came in.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I'm curious about the research. Who's doing the research on acupuncture?
Oh, there's lots and lots of people. I spoke about it in my last program, but there's lots of different people doing research. There's a lot of research in Germany. There's a wonderful woman, Dr. Helen Langevin, who's up at the University of Vermont doing tremendous research on how acupuncture affects the muscles. It actually changes the fibroblasts, it changes the cell structure. And twisting or working with the needles actually changes the connective tissue and the myofascial tissue.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stuff going on with infertility. It's all over the board. There's lots and lots of funding. And if you're interested, you should definitely, let me put these in here. You should definitely take a look at the National Institute of Health, and they have lots of information on studies that are being done.
Okay.
And if you're interested in, anybody who's interested in finding a practitioner in your area, definitely here in Vermont, look at the Vermont Acupuncture Association. I have a card over here that has my name and my website, MeadowieRiverAcupuncture.com, and my phone number. Feel free to call me. And then also, as I said, you could definitely check out the Vermont Acupuncture Association website and the our national certification website. They have practitioners online there. So thank you so much, Janice.
Well, thank you very much,
For
Molly.
coming in.
I feel so calm. I feel optimistic, and I'm delighted.
Don't forget your herbs.
Oh, I won't. And how often should I take these?
You're going to take those 3 times a day. You're going to take
With food or?
if you can do it outside. If you find that you're having any stomach issues with it, give me a call right away.
Okay.
And,
all right.
But it's got lots of easy herbs in it. In fact, there's mint in it, and there's a little bit of licorice in it. There's some commonly known herbs that you will be familiar
So I
with.
don't have to cover this up with sugar or something.
No, don't cover it up with sugar. No, you don't have
another
to
source of energy.
no, don't take it with sugary drinks. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we'll
Molly,
see you.
Thank you. I'll
next
see you.
week.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you again.
Thank
you
you.
very much.